Spawning on in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue Protoss, it is ZEST. And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, the red Terran, it is Time. Alright. So no proxies out of either player. I think if anyone's going to proxy, it's probably likely to be Time with Proxy Reaper. Could potentially do Proxy Marauder. That's something I wouldn't put past Time to have practiced and bust out against someone like ZEST. ZEST just seems like, I mean, he's arguably one of the most solid mid-game players, Protoss players. I don't think he's as good in the late game. ZEST tends not to play to the late game, and maybe he has less experience in that stage. But definitely his early game and mid game is one of the best. Cool. Nothing too out of the ordinary just yet. I think Time overall is a bio player, so it should be pretty standard out of him. I don't think we'll see anything crazy like Mech. Death Aura also being a bigger map. I wonder if Time might play more passively. I mean, a lot of Terrans obviously do opt for the Widowmine drop. It's a great way to just scout your opponent and, you know, potentially do some damage and force a defense. But, I don't know, it is a slightly bigger map. It may not be worthwhile committing to harassment and rather just playing more passively. Maybe go for a bigger bio timing or something like that. Alright. Alright, this does look like it could be a Widowmine drop. But it is still a bit early to see. A bit too early to tell. I've been practicing the Widowmine drop myself. Even a Zerg player can learn new tricks. Alright, Twilight Council. I mean, this is what I expected to see from ZEST. This should be Blink. I can't imagine that he's going to do anything else. It just... Like, either he's going to pick a Dips and he's going to just do a Dips every single game of the series, or he's going to pick Blink and do Blink every game of the series. Like, that's the kind of guy that this kind of strikes me as. The kind of player. Alright. Okay, Tick Lab. Interesting. Curious if this will be for a Raven. Could potentially be for a Banshee. Or he could just be sitting back and making tanks, but that does seem unlikely. Yep, Blink on the way here for ZEST. Okay, tanks. Interesting. So we might just be going for a tank push. Good lifts here by Time. I like that this worker got stuck and he just told him to make a depot. Good use of the worker. He couldn't get it down because of the lift depot anyway. Faster base here out of ZEST. Robo on the way, and of course that's going to be the high ground vision for ZEST. Should be an observer. You can sometimes do a warp prism and then just keep warping in stalkers if you're doing well with your push initially. Interesting. Okay. So it's a marine tank push here by Time. I like this. So he's kind of loaded up the tank and the medevac to kind of hide that it's there. And also to kind of mask the numbers that he has. But these marines, wow, okay, they're just going to go right up to this ramp. Big Daddy tank pops out. And even unsieged, it still can do quite a lot of damage. Now the bio is already thinned out fairly heavily here. The tank is in range of the Robo. But, oh, hot pick up there by Time. Excellent micro. That was very, very risky. I don't think ZEST will be able to catch that, but he will certainly try. Let's see, double Rex follow-up. And engineering bay, all very standard. I wouldn't be surprised if Time really delays his third base, because That push did nothing, and that does mean that map presence now goes to ZEST, so he can dictate the pace of the game however he likes. Time is now on the back foot. Third base coming along here for ZEST, taking his gases very quickly, so looks like he's wanting to tech. Does have a forge about to finish. So ZEST is definitely wanting to play this one out. He's not looking for an all-in. It's a mortal, so he could drop it and try to snipe the tanks with the bonus damage to armor. Looks like he missed micros for a moment there. Hits a marine. Only loses the shield, so it's not the worst thing there for the immortal. Third base on the way here for time. Now the immortal does actually have a lot of damage, so it's going to try and focus the add-ons here. Does slow down a lot of the production here for time. It's just incredibly annoying. It's production time loss. It throws you off your rhythm, off your timings. Templar archives here for ZEST. All looking very clean by ZEST so far. I think this is kind of why I gave ZEST a bit of an edge going into this series. I wouldn't say he's like time is massively outclassed. He's definitely an excellent player. But ZEST is just so hyper consistent. He just gets these little, he just ekes out these little advantages. He just pressures you and just plays flawlessly behind it. So, very scary player to face. Should be seeing a fourth base out of ZEST very shortly. Can't imagine that he's going to just want to do a 3-base all-in. Should be this probe here. Oh, okay. Mortal drop in the natural. Oh, wow. Okay, good flank by Marines. Wow, good play there by time. The Warp Prism and the the Warp Prism and the Immortal being very high value targets. They take a long time to build, cost a lot of resources. But of course, ZEST, you know, his pressure is gone, but you know, he's got a fourth base about to start. He's got Storm on the way. He's going to start building up energy on these High Templars. So definitely going to play a bit more passively. Maybe go for a big mid-game gateway base timing. Is that another Warp Prism? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, okay. High Templars in the Warp Prism. Nope. ZEST has decided now is the time. How many tanks do we have here? 5, okay, and missile turrets, walls. I like this defensive position here by time a lot. He does scout that this timing is coming with the Marine. Let's see what this can get done. The Zealots do melt instantly. Great storms here by ZEST. Oh my god, just kills a lot of that bio and SUVs and bruises everything else. Very decisive. He did lose the High Templar though, didn't he? Okay. So, in terms of resources lost, it's not so great for ZEST. But in terms of tempo, I think that was fine. I still give the edge to ZEST here. But, obviously, time is just going to sit here building up his tank count. Building up his bio. Interesting that he made a few Vikings just to make sure that if there was Colossus, that he already had a bit of a Viking count to counter those. Obviously, Vikings are always useful versus like War Prisms, Observers. It can also be landed and be used for just to help in a fight or even provide some harassment. But good pick there by time. Yeah, Vikings doing a good job of just keeping the harassment of ZEST at bay. That's a lot of Zealots, 25 Zealots. So there's nearly a Zealot for every Marine, which is definitely concerning here for time. But he's starting to kind of build up this, yeah, that's quite the Terran stronghold. I don't think you're going to break this. And ZEST should, he doesn't quite have vision of this, but he should have an idea that this is quite heavily defended. So he's going to take a 5th base behind this. ZEST might just be trying to take a lot of bases, keep map control, and just maybe flood gateway units into time. Looks like he's got the Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine, of course, has tons of DPS. Oh, okay, no, my mistake. This triple Robo Disruptor. My god. Okay, so it looks like ZEST is going to be having a death ball of disruptors and potentially like a harassment squad of DTs trying to snipe bases, maybe pick off reinforcements. Time so far, he's probably just going to move around as a ball. He's going to take this very slowly. I love the missile turrets, the bunker sensor tower. Like this, great defensive play. Really don't want to attack into this as ZEST. Good storms. He has lost a lot of high tempo this game, actually. And, you know, gas is going to start becoming quite important here for ZEST, especially as he's wanting to make triple Disruptor and Dark Templar. But, of course, you know, there's nothing wrong with making just a whole bunch of Zealots. Looks like ZEST wanting to try to pull time out of position, but good rotation. Now, whenever Protoss does this, where they kind of move their army from left to right, there's a lot more actions that the Terran has to do than Protoss has to do. Like, the Protoss can kind of move around as this blob, whereas the Terran has to unsiege, resiege, make sure the Marines aren't too clumped. Oh, okay, they're going to go into this canyon of death. Looks like Dark Disruptors not quite hitting anything, so nothing too bad there for either player. Now, there are ghosts in this army, so that does give Time some EMP options. This is a big army by Time, and I'm kind of concerned for this now. Looks like he's going to go for a big Zealot counterattack. Looks like Time has... Wow, okay, Time has sniffed this out. Now, that's only a small amount of bio here. These Zealots will try to trade, but looks like the tank in the bank and the Marauders with their slow will clean that up, so... that's quite a lot of minerals lost for ZEST again here. Time has just been very slow, very patient, and just slowly chipping away at him. These Disruptors, so far, not really doing that much. They haven't found any decent connections as of yet. Just 1 or 2 straggler units. I'm loving these big sieges here by Time. He just sieges all the tanks. He goes, alright, well, if you want to fight me, I'm going to be full power. I'm just going to take my time here. Good storm there by ZEST. Looks like he's going to go on a counterattack with the DTs here. Now, there are a lot of missile turrets and EMPs and all sorts, so detection not a problem there for Time. And once again, ZEST throws away more units there, not able to find any damage. So Time is in a very, very commanding position in this game. He's just, so far, he hasn't really made a mistake that I can think of. Oh, outside of the Marine push he did at the start, which really did not do much at all. Oh, nice pickoffs here by ZEST. Oh, gets one tank, but the other one gets lifted there by Time. Good response. Oh, these Liberators are the absolute bane of Disruptor and ground-based Protoss armies. And he's going to use this to cut ZEST in half. Going to go for this 4th base. Completely undefended. There are some Tempests, but, I mean, in low numbers, they just tickle away at this bio. This bio is going straight for throat. Oh, the Robo's going down. Base is going down. Probe's going down. Looks like the tech units for Time do get cleaned up. There is a big counterattack with Zealots on the other side of the map. So, I mean, ZEST is dishing out some counter blows here. But he is starting to lose his production very quickly here. Dark Shrine going to go down. And looks like he's going to pick up there. Big blink there by ZEST. Gets one of the medivacs, but everything else going to escape with their lives. High Templar here. Could potentially storm this, actually. He could kill that one low health medivac. I don't think the rest would do too much. Alright, well, 32 probes dead, 34 SUVs dead. Both players kind of bloodying each other's noses. Oh, okay, another big drop here. Disruptor's a little bit slow in the back here. The bio's getting choked up here, so Disruptors could potentially do quite a lot of damage. Looks like wow, okay, he's just going to jump on top of those Disruptors. Not really sure who came out ahead there. I think that was good for ZEST. Oh man, ZEST is just causing chaos with these DTs, but there's a lot of, there's already extra command centers here for Time. Okay, Tempests. Gonna clean up the bio. Okay. Right, so time is now down 40 army supply. His economy is down 10 workers, but of course he does have mules. Thing is, like, if this game were to go on a bit longer and both players had a treaty and not to attack each other, time would be in a great position. However, ZEST is got an advantage. He's going to capitalize that right now. Like, all of these extra command centers just means that time could replace his economy, but ZEST is not going to let him do that. This war prison, I believe... Okay, it's got 2 High Templars in it, and a Stalker, funnily enough. I think that's a bit of a mistake. Tempests. Good response to the Liberators here. Looks like a counter drop coming in. ZEST also setting up some DT harass. This is a good defensive location here by time. That's not going to be busted easily. Oh, big counterattack here. Nothing to defend as of yet. So a lot of probes will go down and get the base, but this might just trigger ZEST to go for the kill. Big storms on that Terran army, but EMBs do blanket the Protoss army as well. But there's just a 30 army supply lead for ZEST, and it's all on top of time's production. ZEST is going for the kill, and that's going to be it. GG. Alright, that was quite something. I loved the way that Time played. I think Time was playing really, really well. He was making good, consistent leads for himself. But I think that ZEST he made some opportunities for himself, and he just went for it. He just went for the throat. He went to close out the game. He didn't want to let Time get further and further ahead. He didn't want to let Time go into a really comfortable late game. ZEST was just... He knew exactly what he needed to do. Dark Shrine, Tempests. All of a sudden, he has all the tools he needs to deal with what Time was making there, which obviously was like libs and tanks and... Oh yeah, the triple Robo Disruptor, that was cool. That was a lot of disruptors. I didn't really do too much because Time played very passively, but say for example Time overcommitted a little bit too much, maybe his army is a bit more spread out, he's attacking on more fronts, those disruptors could have been a lot more lethal, but they didn't really do too much. Romanticide, okay. I think in general this is a good Terran map. It's quite safe for Terran to take 3 bases, they can defend that quite well. And considering that ZEST is like his goal is to try to break Time open, and Time is going to be a bit more of a turtle player. Well, judging by last game anyway, maybe they might mix things up. This map is good for Time, so let's see if either player does mix it up. Alright. Spawning on in 2. Do we have a sound? There we go. Cool. Alright, spawning on into game number 2 in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue Protoss. It is ZEST. And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, the red Terran, it is Time. Cool, so ZEST is up 1 game, it's a best of 5. The winner of this will go on to fight Amani in a best of 7 in the finals. Cool. No proxies by either player. Yeah. If time can kind of survive the onslaught of ZEST, I like his situation a lot. A ZEST of 5. That's pretty good. Now, that being said, I mean, I'm saying that it is very easy for a Terran player to safely take 3 bases, but the truth can be said for ZEST, and Time made... although overall with his main army, he played really, really well, like... He did not do well with his harassment. He kept sending out more and more drops, and they just did not do any damage at all. And he just threw away a lot of his supply. Any lead that he got, he just threw it away in a counterattack that did not work. Now, did this see the second Rex? Oh, that's a big deal. Okay. Time doesn't even have the resources for Command Center, by the way. He's just trying to hide the fact that he has a second Rax. Oh, okay, interesting. I didn't notice... I mean, I did notice that Time's army was bruised, but I wasn't aware that was because of the stims. Potentially he could have just been quite stressed by ZEST army movements, and he just felt like he needed his army to get from A to B very quickly. Maybe that took its toll on Time. That's something I'm definitely going to watch out more for this game. Alright, Reaper going to come in here. There is going to be a second Adept, so... shouldn't be able to get into the main base without being picked off. Yep, we'll get cleaned up there by ZEST. Good micro so far. Okay, gonna be a triple Reaper opening, but it's a double Adept opening. I'm pretty sure I favor that for ZEST, right? Because there's gonna be a Stalker here to help verse the Reapers. Wait, is that pathing right? Surely that is. Just curious if like might. There's always a chance it might go the other way, but I trust ZEST to know what he's doing. Good lift there by Time. If he doesn't do that, he might potentially insta-lose the game, so good that that does not happen. Loses one Reaper, and so far no hull damage or no health damage to these Adepts. Okay, this is interesting out of Time. I mean, he's gone 2 Rex into 2 Command Center. So he's playing quite greedy. Definitely wanting to play for the late game, but so far this harassment has been quite effective here by ZEST. Now, did he actually see the third base? I don't think he did. No. But he did see that there was a tech lab with STEM. Okay, +1 engineering bay. Alright, so Time, if I'm judging this right with the fast 3cc, he's going to want to drop just a whole lot of racks and go for a big +1 STEM timing. But his natural was heavily delayed. Reapers were picked off and weren't able to achieve anything. ZEST has his third base on the way. He's kept his units alive. Yeah, no, he hasn't lost anything yet. So, just a clean opening here by ZEST. No mistakes at all. Oh, wow. Time is not allowed in the base. So he doesn't see this Twilight Council. Judging by 5 Stalkers, you could probably assume that Blink is on its way. I mean, it is ZEST. He is one of the more predictable players. Yeah, let's see. Factory on the way. Yeah. He might get 1 tank, I think, and then just move out with a bunch of bio with +1 attack. Now, this kind of thing is good on the defense still, because you have a lot of bio to deal with these Stalkers. And Stim's about to be done, so of course he can use that in desperation to try pick off Stalkers that are a bit too slow to blink. Looks like they're going to go into the main base here. Some Adepts in the Warp Prism, funnily enough. Wow, okay, good snipe there by Time. Does get the Warp Prism, so if these Stalkers are evacuated from the main base, they can't get back in without going through the natural. Wow, okay, good blinks here by ZEST. Oh my god, okay, ruthless. Saves all of the low health Stalkers. I was definitely a bit anxious when the Warp Prism got taken out, but in fact, all the Marines died doing that, so... no, it was an excellent kill move there by ZEST, very decisive. The Adepts actually added quite a lot of DPS and effective HP to that army as well, so I didn't think the Adepts would do that much, but actually it did matter. ZEST able to just... he's got this killer instinct. It's really incredible to watch, where he just identifies when he's going to be able to win a trade much faster than his opponent does, and he just pulls the trigger. He just goes for throat and closes it out right there. So, Time on the back foot. This is pretty tough to come back 2-0 versus ZEST, but I think Time can definitely take a game. Maybe Time needs to get a bit more creative here. Maybe needs to get a bit cheesy. So far, ZEST has just been playing so cleanly. I mean, it's what you expect from ZEST. I mean, he has some of the best early to mid game Protoss play out of all the top tier players at the moment. Alright, spawning in the bottom right hand corner, the blue Protoss, it is ZEST. And his opponent, can he bring it back? It's the red Terran time. Alright, match point so far for ZEST. Another player going for a proxy. Always good to note. I think if anyone could, it probably could have been ZEST here. Maybe go for something like a proxy, Stargate, shield battery, all in, where you just get some void rays out. They just have infinity shields. Zound destroyed ZEST 3-0 in 20 minutes in GSL. Oh right, I actually missed that particular game, particular series. That's Zound. He's a Protoss player, right? That's PvP. PvP. I mean, it is a very aggressive matchup. TvP, I think, plays a lot more to ZEST strengths. But then again, ZEST maybe he's just struggling with PvP at the moment. He's traditionally had a very good PvP. But maybe Zound just did his research. I'm not sure. Definitely have to check out the series after this. Okay. Looks like standing here by time. Not doing anything crazy. Oh, no, sorry. My mistake. I didn't realize it was a second Rex. Alright. Well, the probe has been duked and it's gone home, so it hasn't actually confirmed that there is a natural base on the way. He's kind of made this assumption. Now let's see, is there one adept being made? Let's see if he makes a second one. Stargate on the way here for ZEST. Okay, well this triple Reaper opening could actually get a decent amount of damage. Zound is insane right now, so his link shots. Yeah, I mean, he had a... I think he was like on the verge of retiring, wasn't he? And then he just had this amazing breakout performance last year. So, kudos to him. I hope he continues to improve. Oh, good micro here by time, but not really getting too much done. Zound normally wins quick or loses slowly. Right, that's fair enough. That does explain the quick series with them. That's fair. He's very decisive with his all-ins. Wow, 5 Reapers. Okay, he's wanting to kill Adepts with this, right? There's going to be a third Adept and an Oracle. Now, we'll have to check. This Oracle is probably going to be rallied across the map. Let's see if time has this timed out. Looks like the Oracle... Let's see. No, it's going to be at home. It can be used on the defense. Looks like time is... He might try to bomb himself over. Let's see. No. Has he just trapped himself? Oh, he's trying to... Oh, he's going for the pylon. Wait a minute. What? He loses all the Reapers, though. Yeah. GG. Okay. But